Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, here to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Um, just got to playing the Detroit Pistons in a second meeting in as many weeks against this team, and we were able to win. Got the victory. Another close basketball game. Um, Another big lead squandered down the stretch of a basketball game, and luckily enough, we were able to walk away with the dub. But we saw some good things tonight. First of all, I want to say kudos to the big three who played good ball tonight. I thought they were all showing us how they want to look together, if that makes any sense. In other words, the prototype basketball game for Russell Westbrook when the big three play is this kind of game. The prototype basketball game for when AD is healthy and going strong with the other two on the floor is this type of basketball game. Same thing with Bron. This is just kind of what we want to see. You want Russell Westbrook to have high scoring numbers with his triple double to be more so emphasized on the scoring spot. You want AD to continue to score the ball as well, be effective defensively, get out and run, catch lobs, things like that. Ultimately, be effective as a big guy. And of course, you want LeBron James to be a scorer as well. We really do need to put an emphasis on the scoring from those three because we don't have a lot of scoring help from our bench at this stage. We understand that our coach isn't really going deep into the bench from night to night, and because of it, we're kind of top heavy, to say the least anyway, just given the type of roster we have. So it's really incumbent upon those big three to kind of do what they did tonight and put an emphasis on the scoring. So I like what I saw there. I did miss the first half of the game, but was able to clearly see, fluently see, with no problem from the link, surprisingly, the second half of the game. So I'll give you what I got. And I saw the highlights too, the little condensed highlights. But let's see. Malik Monk, his impact did not show up in the stat sheets. I think he had like 2, 2, and 2 and a block or something like that as well. But what I saw from him in the fourth quarter was very impactful. He had the loudest 2 points you'll ever see on a double pump dunk in transition. Had a couple key, well, they called a foul, but that looked like a block to me. A couple key blocks down the stretch, basically. Some good plays here and there. We did have some issues turning the ball over, key bad turnovers. But if you look at the stat sheet, we did fantastic in terms of turnovers as a team. 12 turnovers on the game. So that was great. We had rebounding issues. We got out rebounded pretty bad. 52 to 43 or something like that, and they out rebounded us on the offensive glass pretty bad as well. And I think that's why we ended up having our lead squandered. The Lakers had like a 17-point lead in that game. We had run it up, looked like we are going to get our first blowout of the season, but because of the same old same, us going small, allowing us to punt the rebounding category, and as a result, that left our team at a disadvantage, giving up points that we otherwise wouldn't. Luckily enough, the Detroit Pistons aren't the greatest shooting team, even though they did shoot decently today. If they would have shot better, they would have won. Now, interesting thing about this game from a stats perspective, looking at the stat sheet, it told me a story. And the story was, believe it or not, the Lakers actually won this game on the defensive end. They got out rebounded, as we've said. They shot the ball poorly from three, 20-something% if I'm not mistaken. It was awful from three, as usual. So you look up, and the Lakers had obviously more points winning the game, but we also had one less shot attempted. They had 87 shots. We had 86 or something like that. It was like one less. So what that ended up telling me was that the Lakers actually won the game in the category of not turning the ball over and forcing turnovers that got them in transition for easy buckets. That's actually how we won the game, because we weren't shooting the free throw very well. In fact, we were horrible from the line, horrible from rebounding, horrible from three. So what we were able to do was get in the paint. That's what we did. We attacked the hell out of their paint, kept them from scoring in ours somehow, because they didn't score as much of the paint as they normally do. And since we didn't have more possessions or extra possessions with them out rebounding us so badly, the only way we were able to really do it was stealing the ball. And that's exactly what happened. The Lakers had 11 steals to their 5, And I think they had something like 18 turnovers to our 12. We won the game on the defensive end. Can you believe it, Laker fans? I know. And if you look at the game itself, you watch what I saw, we had some terrible defensive stretches. It wasn't like we were clamping people down. We really weren't. We were just having success where we needed it. And our big three were attentively attacking in the paint to try to get us easy buckets tonight. So that's what I loved. I just want to give kudos once again to Russell Westbrook for setting the tone on this road trip for driving to the basket. And I want to give him credit as well for being the lone spark plug in the third quarter pretty much throughout the entire road trip. The Lakers have obviously had issues coming out of the locker room with energy, scoring the ball, defense, everything. We suck coming out of the locker room. That's been one of the biggest problems. But if you look back at the road trip, you look at this game, Russell Westbrook has come out of that third quarter, come out of that locker room with the intention of single-handedly providing us that energy out of that locker room. And he's done it. If you look, he's been a big scoring help in the third quarter, and tonight was a good night for the Lakers in the third. We scored a lot of points in the third quarter. So I just want to say that I think Russell Westbrook sees that as an opportunity, a void for him to fill, to where we have no energy coming out of the third quarter, but he always has energy. So at that point, I feel like he's taken it upon himself to do that for us, and I think the team is kind of following his lead on that. So I really like what I saw there. A lot has been said about Anthony Davis's shooting struggles. I saw a meme that's going around. He's been historically bad shooting the ball this year. Well, he kind of pulled it together tonight. His jump shot was falling a little bit better for us. He attempted better shots tonight. And he got in the paint. I think we made a much more concerted effort to put him in the paint and get him closer touches early on in the game. So if that was the case, because obviously I didn't see it, but if that were the case, being that I heard commentary on the game and that was said to have been done, plus the highlights kind of showed me a little of that, that's a better recipe for the Lakers than what we've been going for. More interior play from him, more interior play from all three of those stars. LeBron James did attack the basket quite a bit early on, but he ended up having an issue with his side. I guess he re-injured that abdominal injury that he had earlier in the week on a play where he was driving and collided with somebody. So at this point, you gotta wonder if he's going to be available for the Tuesday game against the Kings. I have serious doubts that they'll ask him to play that game. And because of the injury, you saw him kind of settle for jump shots that otherwise he wouldn't settle for, certain plays where he wasn't running back on defense, stuff like that. He was really a liability after that. Took a bad three-point shot that I felt was uncharacteristic for him. Poor shot selection early in the shot clock, down the stretch. Just a bad play that I know for a fact that he should not have taken. So I think the injury is kind of messing with him down there, and I think it would be wise for us to shut him down for a game or two. Even though I've been on the records basically saying that I think it's important that we play all three of our big three players a lot together. I think we've seen enough of them these last two games, kind of give one of them a breather in the next game. So Braun should definitely be that guy. Welcome back, our guy Austin Reeves. It was great to see him down there, even though he got like 6 minutes. What I saw was him make an impact just in one single play where he was able to get the ball to LeBron James for a rhythm three-point shot. And those are the exact type of things that you just don't have without him on the floor. That basketball IQ, that heads-up ability, that Lonzo Ballish type of mentality to where he knows how to get you the ball in your pocket, in rhythm, in the flow of the basketball game. Regardless of what's going on, he just has a sense of how to make others better. And that quality, of course, if you watch my channel, it's basically my favorite aspect of basketball. So having him back makes us better, and I think we're in the win column, and a lot of it had to do with just being able to slot him back in the rotation. Kind of makes it so that we're not relying upon some other guys who just haven't really been as productive for us. Speaking of which, Avery Bradley, we haven't talked really much about these type of games, but there's been several games where Avery Bradley has played a lot of minutes and had done very little. It's kind of just one of those things where I don't talk too much about it because it's just not really important. I think what you've seen out of Avery Bradley in 2020 allows you to understand what he can bring to the table when he's right. But I think we're just at this point in our careers. Well, we're at a point in his career where we just have to be honest and say he's not that guy anymore. And we're playing him in a big role, and we're not getting enough out of him. His jump shot isn't falling; it's coming short. His legs just aren't there. Guys blowing past him, stuff like you would never see out of old Avery Bradley. It's just, you know what I mean? It just is what it is. Father Time is undefeated. So I would like to see us try to kind of go away from him, to be completely honest with you. Kind of, hopefully Kendrick Nunn can kind of come back and get back into this thing, so we kind of use him and Reeves a lot more than we've been, at this time, because we're seeing it. We talk about how old our team is. Our stars ain't really the issue. It's the Avery Bradleys and the Bazemores that kind of and the DJs and the Howards to kind of make it so that our team is struggling with age. I don't think our stars are really the problem in that way. If we could replace some of these other guys with young players, I think we'll be so much better for that. And I think it's on Rob Pelinka to make that happen. We have to replace those names I just said, period. Especially the center's position. We are too deficient rebounding the ball right now. We're too reliant upon those centers to play. I'm not even mad that they're not on the floor because of how poorly they've been, but we do need them on the floor nevertheless. So it's one of those situations where we just need to get ourselves a center that we trust, that we would like to play, so that we could have that rebounding situation taken care of, because we're continuing to get out rebounded by bad teams. We're definitely going to get out rebounded by good teams. So if we want to compete and not get embarrassed out here, we're going to have to improve on DJ and Dwight, period. Straight up and down. Now, as far as those shooters are concerned, Avery Bradley's a guy, it's just, like I said, in 2020, I was so happy to have him here, but, you're just seeing him get blown by. It's like, if he's not able to do it on the defensive end, and that jump shot ain't falling, can't really play him, man. We just can't play him. So that's where we at with that. Carmelo had a game where he looked a little old tonight, to be cut and dry. Did not score. He did get a couple boards, though, did some other things. But we really need Carmelo Anthony to score. We're just too reliant upon him, particularly to be one of those scoring guys off the bench. If he's not scoring well, we're going to struggle. So luckily enough, we were able to overcome that with a victory. But I'm telling you, we beat this Detroit Piston team by, I think, 3 points. Like, we got away with a lot. But I tell you, man, what I saw was a team just giving up their lead because they kept getting out rebounded. I mean, that's literally what I saw, and it's what I see every night. We got a coach here. Everybody's talking about fire him. I'm definitely at the front of that train. I just think we will be so much better if we bring in an offensive coach that values, different offensive looks and things of that nature. Now, granted, the Lakers, as bad as we were offensively, once again, we were able to get enough because we were able to get out in transition. But that's not going to happen every night. You're not going to run into a Detroit Piston team that's going to shoot the way that they shoot and turn the ball over the way they turn the ball over. You just not. And then, mind you, they didn't have Kelly Olynyk as well. It's just, you want to see the Lakers do better. We look at Jeremy Grant tonight. He had a big game against us in Detroit last week. He had 32 tonight. I mean, it's just, as I told you guys, those four guys, the power forwards that can shoot the ball and be athletic, they're not, I told you those guys are going to eat against us because we have no answer for them. Case in point, once again, tonight you saw the same exact thing. Another player on that team that fits that mold was Trey Lyles, who is also that prototype. He also went off tonight. So that theme that I told y'all to pay attention to, that 6'10", 7-foot power forward that could put the ball on the floor, shoot the ball, and athletically move around, just like we saw with Obi Toppin, and the Knicks destroyed us with that kid. That we're going to see that type of player eat against us every night. We have no answer for that. So that's something I want the Lakers to address. We have to find an answer for those type of players, or we're going to get beat by them every night. So someone mentioned in regards to the Lakers that the Lakers do not learn from their mistakes. They continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. They continue to do the same stuff that doesn't work over and over again. And I agree. The same stuff, So, now that all of that is being said, I want to give some credit to the other team. They came in and fought hard. Isaiah Stewart was quiet. Didn't he had a low stat game. He's having a bad season. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That kid is having a bad season. A lot of it has to do with injuries. I think some of it has to do with the fit. I think some of it has to do with just sophomore slumps. But the thing that I had forgotten to tell you guys about the Stewart kid is that I discovered him a year ago in fantasy basketball and made a video or two about him when I did, because what he was doing was putting up all-star level numbers rebounding the ball. The dude is capable of blocking shots and rebounding the ball at an all-star level clip. He showed us glimpses of that as a rookie. Has not shown any of that this season, and is now going to be known for this LeBron James thing. But I neglected to tell you guys that he jumps off the screen with statistics that can really, really be Yusuf Nurkic-like. And I say Yusuf Nurkic because Yusuf Nurkic tends to have these games every once in a while where he goes for 25 boards, 25 points, 8 blocks, just crazy Hall of Fame level numbers, but then he'll disappear and never do that again. That's what I'm saying. Isaiah Stewart has the ability to put up legendary stat lines, and I don't think anybody's quite aware of it just yet. But this guy here, yeah, I know that. So when he starts doing it 3-4 years from now, just remember you heard it here, because he can do it. Particularly blocking shots. He's a nut drop blocking shots. He just hasn't tapped into that just yet. But anyway, saw some good things out of Hamidou Diallo. We've talked about the Pistons, so they're names that I've been talking about on that team that have done good things. Grant, I said it's going to be an all-star. He looked like one tonight. Hamidou wants to break out. I told y'all that. Y'all saw some of his athleticism tonight on display. He's a good player. Sadiq Bey barely scored 2 points, but his impact was out there. He was bumping people. He was doing things that made him impactful for their team. I just felt like they needed a lot more from him from the scoring point of view, and he just wasn't aggressive scoring the ball as much as you would like to see him be in a game like tonight. So Cade Cunningham is helping the opponents by shooting as poorly as he does. I got to be real. Cade is a fantastic young prospect, but he's going to have to cut down on his three-point shots just like the Lakers are going to have to cut down on theirs. If he starts being aggressive and starts to drive the basket more, and try to get to the line a bit more than he's giving himself credit for, I think everything else open up for him, because that three-point shot he's settling for is just not falling. He continues to shoot it over and over again, and he's killing his team. And I think one of the reasons why the Lakers were able to win the game in Detroit was because of his poor three-point shooting. And I think tonight his poor three-point shooting was helpful for us as well. So he's going to have to shore that up if he's going to be the leader of that squad, because they're going to be relying upon him to make those possessions count. And quite frankly, he's just not taking those possessions as seriously as I'd like to see him do it. But he's a rookie in the first half of his season, so nobody's upset at him. It's just progressions. He'll figure it out naturally. Let's see. So yeah, that's about as much as I wanted to give Detroit. I mean, we were lucky to get the win tonight. They put up a valiant effort. Like I said, they destroyed us on the boards. They shot the three-ball pretty well for their side. They shot the free throw very well for their side. So, for them, you're just happy that you were able to get some stops here and there, and ultimately able to get in transition. So, let's see. THT had a pretty good game tonight. I liked how he was finishing. I liked how he was being aggressive. Very much helpful shooting the ball tonight very well. So he had a couple games where he was slumping. I think he kind of snapped out of that tonight. So I was pretty happy to see him be that fourth scoring punch for us tonight. Wayne Ellington had it going. I liked what I saw from him in limited minutes. I thought the guys did a good job. Like I said, they were put out there in that small ball situation once again, and they were getting out rebounded pretty bad, as we've said. But the offense was okay in those circumstances. I guess if you're going to punt the rebounding, you want to see guys be able to be efficient in the areas that they're supposed to be good at. And I suppose we were okay at that tonight. I'm looking for reasons to be happy. And quite frankly, the best thing I could say is Russell Westbrook looks like he's getting comfortable. He looks like he's figuring it out. As we said on this channel, 28 and 8 Rusty is better than 14, 14 and 14 Rusty to me. And that doesn't mean I want him to not care as much about rebounds, because that's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is put more of an emphasis on scoring the ball with your energy. And that's what he's been doing. And we've been better for it. Scoring the ball with the emphasis on getting into the paint, finishing layups, not shooting the three, not settling for jumpers. And he's doing all of those things for us. So I couldn't be more pleased with Russell over the last 3 games. And I hope he continues to do what he's doing. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing. Very, very pleased with how well he's been playing with LeBron James on the floor. Got to give him credit for how he's been just making himself available, cutting, being active off of the ball. He is doing the things that people say he can't do. He's pulling it off. So I'm seeing a guy who's starting to understand what he needs to do to be effective. And if he stays healthy and he stays on the path that he's on right now, by the end of the season, he's going to be our best player. Not named LeBron James, especially if AD doesn't pick himself up. So, yeah, the panic button on Russell Westbrook has officially been turned off. Not worried about him. Still worried about the team. Still worried about his contract. But as far as him running around down there and figuring himself out, I'm gaining confidence by the day. He's getting it together. So now we just need AD to start coming around. In terms of his conditioning, I just want to see him move a little faster, get a little stronger. Like I said, he had a good game tonight. He scored the ball well. He bounced back from a pretty rough game in that last game, I'd imagine, for his standards. I got on him pretty bad about that. So I think if all in all we can give him a good grade tonight, he was very helpful. So yeah, man, I just want to see us get more out of our bench, and it's not going to be something that you're going to see guys figure out. You're going to have to make some changes to that bench in order to get something out of it. So Rob's on the clock in regards to that. We're hopeful that he'll reach into his bag of tricks and pull something out, because right now we're just not good enough. Cut and dry. You look at the Phoenix Suns. We ain't talked about them, but they're running crazy. Golden State's running crazy. We're just not up to par, man. And struggling with the Detroit Pistons just further, brings that home. Does this win make me feel any better about my team? Not even slightly. Nah, we might as well have lost this game, to be completely honest with you. As poorly as we gave up that lead in that fourth quarter, some of the same issues that we've seen no progress in terms of us rebounding the ball, figuring out our rosters. Our offense is still trash. I mean, I think the truth of the matter is we just kind of ran into a team that just doesn't take care of the basketball very well. So them giving us the basketball made us look good defensively. Because we weren't getting stops. If you look at the naked eye, if you just look at it through your own lens, watch that game, we weren't getting stops. We weren't. Those guys were laying the ball up. They were doing what they needed to do in the fourth quarter. They were scoring left and right. Like I said, Jeremy Grant had so many layups and dunks, it wasn't even funny. They should have won the game. Detroit goes back and looks at that tape. They're gonna know that they left their 5th win on the table. And the reason why, I think, is just simply because they didn't take care of the basketball. And so, if you're a Laker fan, which I am, hell no, you're not encouraged by that. We struggled again against a bad team. A bad team had an opportunity to beat us in our home court. Period. And judging by the fact that LeBron James walked away from this game not healthy, I'd say this was a loss. So no, nobody's happy over here. It's good to have a credited win, but we didn't play well enough to win. We just ran into a bad team. So that's what I saw. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. I'm not, like I said, I'm a Laker fan. I've been watching this thing for 30 years almost. So I'm not emotionally tied to the moment. It's very easy for me to crap all over my team, just like it's very easy for me to gloat in all of your faces about all 17 of our NBA championships. It's just the way I'm wired. I'm emotionless. I will tell you we suck, and I'll tell you we're the best, and I'll mean both of it because it's true. Anyway, so I think I'll leave y'all with that. We got the Kings coming up on Tuesday. Looking forward to that game. Davion Mitchell's going to make life hell for everybody as usual, but Hopefully Rashawn Holmes and Harrison Barnes won't be back, and that'll even up the score so we can have an opportunity at maybe beating them this time instead of going to triple overtime and allowing them to beat us. So that's what I have to say, man. Heal up LeBron James. Fire Frank Vogel. BDF. Thanks for watching. I'm out.